The war for money, how power hides behind the markets. 6. Chevron deference and the bureaucratic hydra. Once upon a time, Congress wrote the laws. Then someone decided that was too much paperwork. Enter the Chevron doctrine, a polite way of saying let unelected agencies decide whatever they want. It's the bureaucratic equivalent of giving your dog the house keys and hoping it pays the bills. The result? Millions of rules written by people you didn't vote for, enforced by departments that never go away. So what does that actually mean? It means Congress outsourced its spine, the courts nodded along, and the president was left holding a bag of invisible regulations. Now, some judges are finally realizing the monster they fed, and they're sharpening the knives. Footnote. The Chevron doctrine centralized lawmaking in executive agencies, eroding constitutional checks and creating self-sustaining bureaucratic power. 7. Judicial power in the Constitution. The Constitution was meant to keep government on a short leash. Somewhere along the way, that leash snapped. The Supreme Court's modern motto might as well be, because precedent says so. But precedent, like a bad habit, can be broken. A new wave of justices is quietly hinting that maybe, just maybe, old mistakes shouldn't be immortal. If that idea sticks, it's not just a legal shift, it's a jailbreak for constitutional law. So what does that actually mean? It means we might be seeing the slow rebirth of genuine separation of powers. That's huge. And it terrifies everyone who got rich by pretending balance still existed. Footnote. A reassessment of judicial precedent threatens entrenched systems of bureaucratic and political control built on decades of unconstitutional rulings. 8. Property taxes and modern serfdom. Own your home? Not really. Miss a few tax payments and the county sheriff will prove who's boss. It's rent with paperwork. Every year, homeowners pay tribute for the right to exist on their own land. It's medieval feudalism with better branding. And yet, most people defend it because schools need funding. So what does that actually mean? It means we've accepted serfdom as civic duty. A few reformers are pushing to end property tax altogether. Radical idea, right? But so was independence once. And just like then, the establishment insists it's impossible. Mostly because it threatens their paycheck. Footnote. Property taxation perpetuates feudal economic control, ensuring that ownership remains conditional upon continuous payment to the state. 9. Reconstructing monetary control. If money is speech, then debt is censorship. Whoever manages the debt dictates what can be said and bought. The Federal Reserve, for decades, operated as the quiet conductor of that symphony. But recently, the tune is changing. Some argue the central bank is fighting its own cartel, Wall Street versus the supranational bankers. Sounds dramatic? It is. But when financial institutions act like rival mafia families, citizens tend to become collateral damage. So what does that actually mean? It means global finance is no longer a single empire, it's a civil war of elites. The rest of us are just trying not to get billed for the damage. Footnote. Modern monetary conflict represents competing financial empires seeking control over digital liquidity, national sovereignty, and debt issuance. 10. The final rallying cry. Every generation eventually discovers it's been invaded, not by armies, but by systems. The current war isn't about land, it's about attention, compliance, and time. Each law, fee, or public safety measure steals a few more minutes from the average person's life. Multiply that theft across a nation, and you've got a quiet conquest. So what does that actually mean? It means resistance isn't glamorous, it's local. Fix your own backyard, and you reclaim ground they can't reach. The powerful don't fear riots. They fear communities that stop needing them. Footnote. Lasting reform begins with local action that reclaims autonomy from centralized institutions through collective self-sufficiency.